it's now time for our personality segment, and this segment is meant to just inspire us, learn a lot about the people that we all look up to and be inspired by their journeys. Our guest today is Dr. Lydia Dsane-Selby. She's the CEO of the National Health Insurance Authority. Throughout our conversation with her, if you have any questions, comments, let us know with the hashtag Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. If you're outside Ghana and you still have questions for her, just let us know with the country code +233. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me. Thank you for being here. What does it take to be the CEO of the National Health Insurance Authority?
Hard work, a healthy dose of luck, and being in the right place at the right time. But I think it's about being dedicated. I love my job. I'm not going to pretend. I think I was born to work at the National Health Insurance Authority, seriously. So I'm willing to put in 10, 12 hours a day.
And it doesn't feel like work.
Yes, and it doesn't feel like work.
Okay.
So it's tough at the top, but I love my job.
All right. Away from job to life, where did you grow up? Who were your parents? How was life like as a child?
I was born in Kumasi.
Okay.
But I'm a Fanti through and through.
So you don't claim those stay home. You're not a stay home
But
girl.
I have a lot of ties to Kumasi.
Okay.
My father was a medical doctor, practiced in Kumasi all his life. He had a clinic in Asaf that a lot of people know, Bimpe Health Clinic. My mom is a dietitian and nutritionist. She worked for FAO and PPAG in her early career, but then once we all started popping up, she
literally popping up.
She concentrated more on family life, but she's always had a job on the side.
Okay.
My dad is, apart from being a medical doctor, he was also a politician. So from Progress Party when I was a child, I remember all the people coming home and following them on campaigns when I was this high, through all the various changes until we got to MPP.
Okay.
So because of that, he's been an ambassador twice.
Wow.
Once in Busia's regime and once in former President Kufuor's regime. So that took us outside the country, boarding schools overseas and all the rest of it.
We'll talk about going outside the country, but as a kid, when you looked at your dad, how did you see him?
He was one who used to tell a lot of stories, full of a lot of jokes. But he was a disciplinarian. But my mom was the tough.
Really?
Yeah. You had to get past my mom.
To get
Yeah. Whatever was happening, it had to go through my mom.
Okay.
She's really the matriarch of the family, and even as a child, cousins, family friends, there were so many of us in the house at any one time. There was a rule that we had to have breakfast and lunch together. So irrespective of what you were doing, you had to be up to have breakfast with my father before he left for work, and he'd come at lunchtime. So if you went roaming, you still had to be in. The only forgiven one was supper. That the kids had on their own. And he used to come at lunchtime, he'd have a bottle of beer and groundnuts and read the newspaper. So we got into the habit of reading the newspapers daily. I still do it.
Wow.
It's a habit. And he would ask you questions about what you read in the papers. So these are habits that have stuck with us, and we ate as a family around the table. So you pick up table manners, pass the rice, pass the vegetables, pass the salad. And we've grown up that way, that kind of family environment. And he'd ask you your day, and all the rest of it. Woe betide you if you went out the night before and you are dozing at the breakfast table.
Oh, gosh. So how did you guys handle that?
No. We're all girls, so we knew the rules.
Okay.
No matter what, you get up, have a bath, and come for breakfast.
How important was that? Because we're in an environment where people perceive the man to just be the provider. So a lot of kids are growing up without that bond to their fathers, because really dad is usually never around hustling to make money for the family.
But I think I grew up in a different era. Life was not that hectic.
Yeah.
So my dad always came home for lunch. I think we had a wonderful, I'm not going to pretend, I think I had a wonderful childhood. I have a lot of friends and cousins who still call my dad because of it. And I think my mom really instilled in us that sense of family bond. So we are 5 siblings, and 5 sisters and a brother, I should say. The boys at the end. And I have an older half-sister.
Wow.
But we're still tight, we're still close. Growing up, we tended to be each other's friends more than outsiders. And my friend becomes my sister's friend. And it's gone on through the years where it's like a huge family, and we're still all very close.
Oh, wow. Now, you said you moved when you were younger. What was the first country you guys moved to, and how was that experience like?
We went to Paris.
Okay.
During the Progress Party time. And we were at quite a formative age, and so the older siblings went to boarding school in Britain. And the younger 2 stayed at home and went to French kindergartens and things. So luckily for them, the younger 2 are quite okay speaking French.
But you guys didn't pick it up.
You know, we have our British accents from going to school in Britain. But we used to come home, and then there was a coup. And obviously my dad was a political diplomat, so he was recalled home. So we all came home. I thought I was going to Achimota, and then the school wrote and offered me a full scholarship.
Wow.
So the reality is I protested, because I kind of wanted to be home. I'd heard about boarding schools, and you know, in the holidays people used to meet and chat, and I thought I'm missing out. But my parents felt it also wasn't polite to turn down the scholarship. And so I went back, and the others stayed home.
How was that like, being back?
It was okay. I used to travel, wasn't so difficult in those days, so expensive. So I used to come home for Christmas and the long vac. And Easter, I'd stay with friends or relatives. And,
did you like school?
British boarding school is a lot different from Ghanaian boarding school. Okay. So I had a wonderful time.
What did you like about it?
Well, we were well looked after. In Ghanaian boarding schools, you have to clean and do all those things. We didn't do any of that.
Because you had janitors taking care of all those things.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make your own bed and things like that. So probably why I'm a little untidy in my adult life, because Ghanaian boarding schools instill some discipline, which maybe I didn't quite have. But it was very... I think the education system is a little different. There's a lot more mentoring, I think.
Okay.
When I came for sixth form, I remember people asked me, what textbook did you use for biology? I'm like, I have no idea.
Why?
What chemistry book did you use? They were quoting authors. I'm like, I used the books as a reference. I didn't
what you were
read
doing
them
in the labs
from cover to cover.
Yeah.
But when I came, and in sixth form, it was a bit of a culture shock, because my classmates were reading their textbooks from cover to cover, and I'm like, I can't do this.
So how did you handle that?
It was rough. I found sixth form a bit rough.
Okay.
I really found my feet by the time I got to university.
Wow.
I made it through my A-levels, but I thought it was a bit rough.
Okay. You went to Achimota?
Yes, I did.
How was that experience like for you?
Yeah, I mean, my friends from Achimota are my friends today.
Wow.
I have people. How many years is it now without giving out my age?
Oh, give it out.
I mean, these people have been my friends for 40-something years.
Okay.
We talk to each other every day on WhatsApp.
Wow.
We call each other's mothers, auntie this, auntie that. 40-something years.
What was it about that relationship that is so special today?
I was in A-dorm for lower six, and there was a lady across me, Nana Misma. She works for the UN. And we are in and out of each other's houses to this day, after 46 years or whatever. Yeah, it's so Achimota gave me lifelong friends. My mom went to Achimota. My dad went to Infanspim. So the siblings, it's alternate. One goes to Achimota, the other one goes to Wesley Girls. One goes to Achimota, one goes to Infanspim. They did alternate, so that 3 of us are here, 3 of us are there.
But being in the UK, did you feel any different, as far as being from Ghana, being an African, or it all felt the same?
Where I went to school, there were not that many blacks.
Okay.
So, yes, I stood out a bit. The whole school, we probably had about six Africans.
Okay.
Well, my siblings and I constituted half the Africans.
So you literally diversified the school.
And then we had some Nigerians and I think a Ugandan.
Okay.
So the community didn't have that many blacks, so we stood out. There weren't many instances of racism.
Okay.
Not really. Maybe there was and I didn't see
notice,
it.
Yeah.
I did get into a fight once.
A fight?
After a hockey match due to some racial slurs.
What happened? I can't even imagine you fighting.
Yeah, I was a bit of a tomboy, I think. But we beat this school. They were day students. We came from a boarding school, and we played them at hockey every year, and we beat them. And it was on their grounds. So we went to the changing room afterwards to change before we have refreshments. And a couple of them, there were only 3 of us in the room, and about 3 of them came in and just started throwing insults. And then one of them referred to me as Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
And then I said to her, well, I'm glad you acknowledge me as the greatest, because he's the greatest boxer. So you are trying to tell me I'm the greatest hockey player you've ever met. And she
I like that comeback.
didn't take it kindly and smacked me in the mouth.
Ouch.
Well, an African child smacking me in the mouth. So, yeah. So
Please tell me you gave her the beat down of her life.
There were some fisticuffs there, and then the 2 schools had to have a meeting about it.
Oh.
And once I threw in the race card, they quickly backed down.
Okay.
And apologized, and then the 2 schools actually had a falling out of sporting relations for a while.
Wow.
Over the incident. But
How old were you?
So I was about 13.
Wow. Okay.
So that is one of the few times. And then we had a meeting with some. There was a boys' school near us, and we all bumped into each other somewhere, and the usual back and forth, and then they threw in a racial slur. Well, I didn't react. My friends all just pounced on these guys. And,
at that time, you were like, I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm over it. But no, I never really encountered racism in those days.
But you liked sports as a teenager?
Yep, I played hockey.
What did you like about it?
I don't know, just because I could. I don't know. I played hockey for the school. The English county the school was in picked me to play on their county hockey team as well.
Okay.
And then when I came to Ghana, I played hockey in Achimota for the university. I went to the West African University Games.
Wow.
We got a bronze medal.
That's impressive.
So, yeah, I used to, even at the medical school, but after a while it was interfering with my studies. So we used to go and play basketball in Lagos University, Ibadan University, hockey in Jos and things like that.
What kind of leadership skills did you learn from sports as a teenager?
I was never the captain.
Why?
That's for sure.
Was it deliberate, or you just didn't care for it?
I think I was just interested in playing, I guess. I didn't look for a leadership role in those days. I think I like the team aspect, because I never played sports that were individual. Tried my hand at tennis and a few things. I guess I didn't like to be in the spotlight on my own. But basketball, hockey, tried a bit of volleyball, but I'm a little too short.
But could you jump high at least? Because I tried volleyball, but I couldn't jump high, so they kicked me off the team.
I tended to be the setter. The setter doesn't have to be tall.
Yeah.
But I prefer team sports.
Okay.
It's only in adulthood that I played golf a bit.
What did you like about team sports?
I think because you have to work together. Everybody has their role. Nobody is more important than the other. Somebody is the captain, yes. Somebody is going to score a goal, yes. But it's about us all playing our part to achieve a common goal. And I think that is something I hope I've taken forward in life. It's important that we understand that we're all part of a team. Everybody has their role in that team. And if we all play our roles right, then the team or the organization together achieves something.
Wow.
And something I also believe in, when you're the boss, you don't have to know it all. It isn't bad to, I don't know what to say, to show a weakness. Sometimes I like to do my own PowerPoint presentations. But sometimes you want to do something fancy. And I don't know how to do it. And then you want to call a junior staff, and it's like, CEO, you're calling a junior staff to help you or something. But you know it and I don't.
You don't.
I don't want to give it to you to do. I want you to show me so that next time I can do it myself. So yes, I've been known to call them in, close the door, and I'm like, show me how to do this.
How do you deal with that initial hesitation of they don't want you to feel like you don't know? And
for me, I don't think it's a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of strength. That as a leader, I can turn to somebody in my team and ask them to show me something. I can't know it all. And as I learn from you, then I get more enlightened.
So let's talk about uni days. At what point in your life did you realize that medicine was going to be it for you? But viewers, we're still talking to Dr. Lydia Dsane-Selby, CEO of National Health Insurance Authority, learning about her life, her journey, what inspires her. If you have any questions for her, let us know with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. And the WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you're outside Ghana, just use the country code +233 and I'll ask her all of your questions. Medicine.
I don't promise to answer all.
You don't have to answer it.
Uni was also fun for me.
Okay.
I'm not sure I consciously chose medicine. I'm going to be honest. When you're in school and you are doing well, they tend to push you to science. I loved maths. If I had been exposed to other professions that involved maths, I might have gone down a different line.
Really?
I really, really loved maths.
What profession would you have considered?
I don't know. I mean, an actuary.
Okay.
Actuaries make a lot of money. There are very few of them, and that may have interested me. But at the time,
there's a viewer called Paula. She says, "What's an actuary?"
They are the ones who calculate insurance and the risk, the premiums, so that insurance companies and others don't get into financial difficulties.
And they make a lot of money.
Because there aren't that many. It's quite difficult to be a qualified actuary.
Wow.
Somebody told me yesterday we only actually have 3 fully qualified actuaries in Ghana.
In the whole country?
Yeah. Wow. So I hear. But there are a lot of people now coming into it.
Okay.
In training and picking up. So,
okay. But beyond the money, what other fields were you interested in? Or would you have considered aside medicine?
An engineer. Didn't really occur to me. My father is a doctor. He was very well respected in Kumasi. No two ways about it.
Yeah.
So once I was kind of drifted into science, I guess it just became natural for me to drift into medicine. I don't hate it, don't get me wrong. When I first qualified, we were in cash and carry days. It was rough.
Wow.
But I don't regret having done medicine. That's why I say that the National Health Insurance Authority is the ideal blend of medicine and clinical knowledge and sort of analytics
Public
and things.
health.
So it's a complete blend of what I love and what I trained for.
How was medical school like?
In our days, the class was like 60-something, so it was really quite, how should I say, personal. Yeah. It was all right. Some of the lecturers either went to school with my mom or my father's colleagues.
Oh no, that's
when that
boring.
Happens,
you can't can't get in trouble. They're gonna tell on you.
Exactly. So I had to keep my nose clean and do what I needed to do. But again, I have lifelong friends from those days that we all keep in touch. I still remember some of the patients, the cases, and things like that. I enjoyed it to some extent, but I had to keep my nose to the ground.
Did you have any social life at any point in high school, uni? Did you get in any trouble? Your friends are going to send the messages if you don't. You don't admit to it.
To be honest, first, second, and third year, people used to say, "Are you sure you're a medical student?"
Why?
I used to, the medical students didn't go to parties on campus and things like that. And I did. So people say, "Are you sure you're a medical student?" But but even, the first 3 years we're at Legon, even though we go for classes at Kolebu. 4th to 6th year, we're actually resident in Kolebu. Yeah. There were parties there, but there was this perception that if you're a medical student, you mustn't have a life, no fun, and
just
all
boring, blah, dragging your suitcase full of textbooks.
Exactly, but I think maybe those about 3 or 4 years ahead of me started the trend. And by the time we got there, we're a fully fledged trend of having some fun as well as working hard.
How important is that blend to be able to get away from the books, have fun, and know that, okay, I'm going to go back to my books and study?
I think it's really important. A few of those who cracked because they didn't have an escape route. And learning isn't only about the books. You need to learn about life. If you're going to be successful. As a doctor, you need to have empathy. You need to be able to relate to your patient as a human being, as well as the disease or illness he has brought. And I think if you just focus on the books, you don't have that vision to really see the person as a person rather than a disease sitting across from you.
Yeah.
So I think the balance is really, really important. And life generally. You can't just be...
just a box.
Yeah, tunnel vision. You can't have tunnel vision. And you should play a bit of sports, you should read novels, you should listen to music, so that you become an all-round person and not just your profession.
So moving from medicine, the other roles you took up, how difficult or easy was it for you beyond, being a doctor?
Other roles, I mean, in life.
Yes, in life.
No, I am as I am. I'm not very good at pretense. I don't lie well. If you know me, you will know when I'm lying. I don't lie very well, and sometimes I struggle to fit in with the sort of the cultural. I don't know, I'm a CEO. I'm not supposed to carry my own bag. I find that difficult. If I'm drinking water and I step out of my office carrying a bottle, 1,000 people rush up to me to take the bottle from me. Because as a CEO, I should not carry a bottle of water. And some of those things, I don't know, I'm not very good at it. But I guess that's our culture. As a senior person, there are a lot of things you're not supposed to do for yourself. And I find some of that a bit difficult. But I have friends who keep me grounded. And as I said, my group of friends...
From high school, so you can't...
they know every part of me. So if they see me getting a bit big-headed as a CEO, trust
They'll
me,
whip you back.
They send me WhatsApps insulting me so quickly. So it keeps me grounded. We have a large family, cousins and things, and we're all quite close, and so we all again keep each other grounded, both on my father's side and my mother's side. There are a lot of women at the top of the first batch of cousins were all women, and then a few guys come afterwards.
Just as your parents did it, all women, and the baby is the boy. How has the National Health Insurance Authority been beyond being the CEO, even your time there?
I've been through about 5 CEOs since I've been there. Obviously, different changes of government and different directions. I think when you are in a government institution, a public servant, we are not civil servants, but we are public servants paid by government. Your loyalty is to the government. So if the government changes, your loyalty is really to the government. Your loyalty is to the CEO and the Minister of Health under whom we work. That doesn't stop you putting out an opinion if you feel the direction is wrong for the country. And during the years when obviously the the NDC were in power, I came in when MPP was in power, but I stayed throughout the 8 years of NDC. MPP is back again. There were some changes of direction, which some didn't sit that well with me. But I was in the institution with the CEO, with the government who wants to go in a particular direction. I felt my job was to document what I felt was wrong or with the direction and proffer an alternative to achieve the same result. By the end of the day, if the minister and the CEO, it's up to me to make it work as best as possible. Because that's where I work. If I don't like it, I need to step out.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lesson for all of us. If your government happens not to be in power, once you've taken up a government job, your job is to assist the government prosecute its policies. If you feel what they're doing is really bad for the country, you need to voice it out, document it or whatever. That's fair enough. Beyond that, you need to help them prosecute their policies to the best of your ability. The other thing I want to talk about is, in the same vein, if you're being asked to do something you feel is inherently wrong,
and it's against your own values,
don't sign it.
Yeah.
I had that problem once where I was being forced to sign something I was uncomfortable signing. And there was a lot of back and forth. And in the end, I signed. However, and I take my hand off to the former Speaker of Parliament. He was our board chairman at the time. And he did call me and tell me that, you know, the repercussions of that letter you signed, he's aware I was forced to sign it. But next time, signing something makes it legal. Next time I should walk away and tell somebody higher why I don't want to sign, rather than sign. Because once you sign, you agree to it. And it was something I took to heart. He said it had happened to him, and he took leave or something. He took his leave so that
just to avoid it,
to avoid signing something.
Wow.
And it's something I took to heart.
But how do you deal with the pressure? It's one thing to stick to your values, and another thing to come across as if you're being difficult or you're not being a team player.
That is the balance is so difficult. I think you need to document why you're not signing, and have it on record, so that if you're not signing for frivolous reasons, then you shouldn't be in your job. But if you really believe that it is wrong for me, either for the organization or the country Ghana, you should document it and let the superior sign that document. Yeah.
Okay. We have some messages for you, because I'm going to ask, my last question will be, your dad was a medical doctor and also a politician, if you are also going to follow down that path. But some people have sent us messages. I'm going to read them. Let me see this. Good morning, Dr. Lydia Dsane-Selby. I'm watching you live. God bless you in the work that you do. You're doing great. Please, okay, this is coming from Jeff Tan Arhen. Kindly ask the CEO why mental health care is not covered under NHIS.
Thank you. Mental health was exempted in the original law and the original LI. That was because all programs, what we call vertical programs that had their own funding, were kept out of health insurance. And it was only things where the public were paying cash for the services that were included in health insurance. So if you notice, family planning, contraceptives, mental health and other things, TB, HIV/AIDS, they had their own dedicated funding. So it would have been double payment. Now, as we grow and review, we need to bring some of these programs in. Family planning is now coming in, so that you can go and get family planning services at any clinic across the country soon. So it's about gradually increasing the benefit package and drawing in some of these services that are losing their funding, and see how we incorporate them into the NHIS benefit package. Mental health still has separate funding, its own authority and all sorts. So it's about, we are in discussions with them, we meet them regularly. It's about how that funding is either absorbed, how it becomes available, the service becomes available nationally, is still in selected pockets.
Okay.
For NHIA or NHIS, the scheme, we want a service to be universal. It must be available everywhere.
Yeah.
We need to see how mental health is incorporated into the kind of normal health service of Ghana, and then cost it and absorb it.
Okay, now my question, do you have any political ambitions?
To stand as an MP or something, no.
Why not?
I don't think I quite have what it takes.
You never know.
No, it takes a special kind of
human being.
to you have to tolerate so much.
Yeah.
Our members of parliament are out there being abused or taken advantage of, and it is a very special job.
Yeah.
I'm
sure it comes with its benefits. They enjoy it. That's why they keep running.
I'm not sure I have what it takes.
Okay.
But that being said, by virtue of being the CEO, I am in politics. That's the reality. So, yeah. And being a politician is also not about standing on a platform and
waving party flags.
Yeah. There are politicians who are politicians behind the scenes.
So what do you do behind the scenes?
So I think I'm a politician behind the scenes.
How do you define that? How do you define a behind the scenes politician?
It's about letting people know the good works that your party or government in power is doing, promoting their works. By virtue of my job, I must do my job well enough that people will see the party has something good for them when they are in power.
Speaking
that
of
makes
your
me
job,
a politician.
Richard in Adenta says, what would you like to be remembered for when you leave office one day? And I'll tie that into the legacy that you would want to leave behind.
I would like to leave a few legacies. One, we need to achieve universal health coverage. It must be for all. We are launching our NHIS week, 9th to 13th. I'm taking this opportunity to
please go for it.
Free publicity on City.
Go for
9th
it.
to 13th, NHIS week, leaving no one behind. But what I would like my legacy to be is changing the health-seeking behavior of Ghanaians. We are still in the mode of, I'll sit at home, me tipai me naisi tutumi, and then you take some APC. You ask your cousin B some leftover medicine. You take her two tablets. Then last minute you are rushing. Who knows a doctor? Me kokolibu and that kind of thing. We need to change it.
Yeah.
The NHIS card will allow us to know who and where you are as Ghanaians. We are linking it now with the Ghana card. Now, when we know who you are, where you are, your age, maybe any underlying illnesses, we do targeted health interventions.
Okay.
This is Breast Cancer
Awareness Month.
Awareness Month. We keep talking about it. Screening is not available. This is not there. You can't enforce it. You have to make it in such a way that Ghanaians go for the screening. Now, if I don't know how many women of 30 and above are in a district, how do I even target an intervention?
Yeah.
Luckily, with this national ID card, we know where everybody is. Now, it's up to us to either find a way to put it on health insurance or whatever. Say you would have a special DRG, which is the code they used to bill us for breast screening. If we analyze our data every 3 years and see that only 50% of women have used that code to access care, we can even go to the districts where it's not happening and set up special interventions.
Yeah.
Well, we know all the under 5s. We know that having worm infestations affects their growth, nutrition, mental abilities. You look at the coding for treatment for worms and look to see how many under 5s across the country have had no deworming over the last 2 years. That is how you achieve a healthy nation. Not waiting and saying when you are sick, go to the hospital to be free, or it won't be free, or you can have a card, you can't have a card. That is past. Ghana is beyond that. We are almost how many years post-independence? We have gone beyond that kind of thinking. So with our increased digitization, we need to do proper healthcare.
Okay, now you're not doing behind the scenes advocacy now. I love it.
This is clear advocacy.
Clear advocacy.
We need to change the way we seek healthcare in Ghana. And that is what I would like as my legacy.
If you could talk to that 13-year-old girl who beat the life out of that chick in the locker room, what would you tell her about the life that she's about to embark on?
Well, I will tell her that I've gone beyond my color. By comparing me to Muhammad Ali, I take it on board that I need to develop to the maximum of my capability and leave a mark in the world. And I hope that's what I'm doing.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Hi there. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends.
This is Breakfast Daily on City TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV.